I said, give me 6 months. He said, well, you're going to buy yourself less life. I just started walking, and that was the turning point for me.
I first met Shyy at a running event in London, where I was working as a cameraman and she was just taking part. At first, I mainly saw what most people see online, which is the confidence, the humor. But once we sat down and talked, it went much deeper than that.
I was in a very unhappy, violent marriage. I didn't realise that I'd repeated the pattern.
What was the first step towards the Shyy you are today?
All women want to look good, right?
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about fitness is that
We talk about identity, aging, motherhood, relationships, fitness, and what it means to rebuild yourself later in life, because she decided in her 40s that the future she was being imposed was not the one that she wanted.
I was brought up in a culture where I should be barefoot pregnant behind the sink and serving men, and I think I was doing these rebellious things for somebody to take notice of me.
Shyy speaks about things that a lot of people avoid: divorce, menopause.
Sex for a woman was very hush-hush. I didn't see a role model, even menopause. My mother never spoke about it. When Savannah bought me my first vibrator, I was disgusted.
But she doesn't speak about those things to shock you. She speaks about them because she lived through them, she learned from them, and now she just wants someone else to feel less lonely. Let's get into it, c'est parti. Hi Shyy.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm very well, and you?
Thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure, absolute pleasure.
So I guess let's start with the beginning. How would you introduce yourself as a human?
Wow. My name is Shyy. First and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm a runner. I love food. I love cooking. I'm just learning to be me. And I don't think I've peaked.
You don't think you have peaked
No,
yet?
not at 62.
That's great. So that's how you would introduce the Shyy today at 62. But the Shyy, correct me if I'm wrong, the Shyy that was 40 and 50-year-old was a completely
Wow.
different version of Shyy. How would she have introduced herself as a human?
I don't think the 40-year-old Shyy knew who she was. Wow, that's such a good question. God, I'm starting to shake thinking about it. I honestly don't know. I was so busy being a wife, being a mother, being a sister, earning the bread. I don't think I knew who I was. Didn't have time to stop.
Reflecting on it today, now that you have a bit more of a bird's eye view, who would you say you were?
I honestly think I was a very confused, lost soul. I think coming from a different culture, different country, arriving in England at the age of 13, then not gaining much education, and then all of a sudden you're a mother telling your children things that you're quite not sure about, but you think you should be saying. So looking back, I think, gosh, this is so emotional, Hama. It's scary to think. I don't know who I was. I think the only focus in my life was my children, and I was in a very unhappy, violent marriage. So when you're living with violence, and I was living with violence as a child, I didn't realise that I had actually I'd repeated the pattern. I was so used to violence growing up that when it happened in my marriage, I thought that was just expected.
Were you thinking about the future?
No, I wasn't. It was just day to day. I was just thinking, I need to look after these children. I need to keep them safe. What I did know was I didn't want to repeat history. And that's all that kept coming back to me. But living with the violence the fear of it was so immense that I didn't know how to get out of it.
When you say keeping your children safe, safe from what?
From the violence, from the confusion of these different cultures. And I was living in a very indigenous area at the time, Chelmsford, Essex, and they were going to a private school. My daughter was being bullied for being hairy. To her, beauty was blue-eyed and blonde because that's what she saw in school. And then she'd come home and tell me these things, and I would sit there absolutely petrified. Like, how do I help this child? And then dealing with a violent marriage, it was just so difficult. And I think keeping them safe on a daily basis were reinforcing into them that you've got the strength, we'll make it through. I didn't know how, didn't have a clue. But I knew in myself that I have to get out of this situation and make a safety road and a path for them. And they're, by the grace of God, they're amazing children.
What are their names?
Savannah and Sian. I'm so proud. I know every mother says that.
So you say that you had this, this vision of life, the violence, it was something normal, yet you still wanted to protect them from that. So inside, deep down, you knew there was something wrong.
Yeah. I knew that the culture as such, not being allowed to exercise or not being allowed to smoke or not allowed to do certain things as an Asian woman, and then coming from East Africa to England. I looking back now, of course, I see smoking's bad for you. I did become a smoker. But at the time, it was more out of rebellion. If you wanted a boy to look at you, you picked up a cigarette and, so to me, that was a representation of... But at home, there was no discussion about it. Nobody spoke to us. We were expected to cook and clean and exercise, or looking after a woman, looking after yourself as a woman wasn't something that ever featured. It was the men that went out and had a drink or went for a walk or went to the gym. And we were just nurtured to be the carers.
It almost felt like you had to be rebellious and do bad things so that you break out the mold and people actually see you.
I think I was doing these rebellious things for somebody to take notice of me. Somebody listened to me. I picked up smoking. Of course, I went behind the bike sheds and had a kiss with Alan, I'll never forget. I didn't know what I was doing, and I wanted somebody to take notice.
What period was that around, that rebellious?
13 to, I would say, 18.
Okay. And you said something about, your Savannah being bullied at school and you teaching her how to accept that she was a bit different and that it wasn't a hindrance, I guess. I remember growing up in Senegal and I was a bit more light-skinned than most of my friends. So they would see me as a foreigner because my mom is half French, so, I have a bit of French blood. So they would see me as a foreigner. And then when I go to my family in France, obviously I'm darker than everyone else. So wherever I went, I was different. And to me, it was a bit of an identity crisis. And my mom had to talk to me and work on that. How did you teach Savannah that it was okay to be slightly different or to accept who she was?
As an Asian woman, the religion, there's so many rituals. If you go to the temple, if you don't eat meat. To me, I don't agree with that. It's do unto others as you expect to be done unto yourself. Live it. You don't have to go to the temple 3 times a week or whatever. If that's what you want to do, that's entirely up to you. But for me, it's living it on a daily basis. and for the children to see the kind of mother I was on a daily basis and teaching them, it's okay they're horrible to you, Savannah. You don't have to be horrible back. And I'd got divorced by this time. I was 42, so she was 13, just puberty time when it was difficult for her. So fortunately, I was able to have complete autonomy over bringing the children up. I didn't have the violence at that point. My ex-husband was taken away. And that made it a little bit easier for me to influence the children. So for her to have that reinforced on a daily basis, and mums live in it, because both the children could see that having just newly got divorced, or we hadn't quite finalised it, I was struggling. But mum was still doing right. She was still putting food on the table. And sorry, Hama, it's so emotional. I think for them to see that was so good. And now I don't want any thanks for it, but I think they really gained strength that you can fight adversity and you can turn it around.
I saw in one of your reels, and it was you talking about anger and holding grudge, and it all makes sense now. And you were saying that the anger you hold against someone will turn you into the person that caused you that anger.
100%.
And your freedom is in letting that go.
Yes. I think when I don't really want to talk about what happened in the marriage because it was a criminal matter in the end. I think even for the children that I chose to forgive him, it wasn't for him. It was for me, for me to gain peace and to be a better mother.
What was the first step towards the Shyy you are today?
Honestly, that one was health related because
Okay.
I was 49. I was a real porker. I'd put on so much weight, had no idea about diet, and I was eating all kinds of food that I shouldn't have been eating. Didn't understand food really.
So your divorce was at
42.
42, okay.
Yeah, so 42 to about 49, I was just working. And the GP had been writing to me about a regular visit, and of course I kept ignoring, but eventually I went one Saturday and he took my blood pressure, did a blood test, and came back a week later and he said, I think we need to start you on statins. I didn't have a clue what that meant or whatever, and you picked up your prescription as you went out. And I forgot to take them and I wasn't feeling well. So I started Googling what statins meant, and when I read what it was, shit, I thought, muscle weakness, and I can't even remember some of the things that I read. But at this point, my blood pressure was playing up, and I had to go into hospital, Broomfield Hospital, and the doctor came and he said, well, you haven't taken your statins. And I said, I'm not going to either.
You just said, yeah, I won't.
I'm not going to do it because I'm going to buy myself more problems. He said, well, you're going to buy yourself less life. And I still remember his name, Dr. Mackin. I said, give me 6 months. He said, I'm not sure if he'll do anything. I said, look, just give me 6 months. I just started walking every day. Didn't really understand diet, but I knew that I had to cut down on the sugar. Sleeping. And that was the turning point for me when, I'm not going to lie to you, Hama, that all women want to look good, right?
Yeah, of course.
And the beautiful thing about fitness is that the results come in the first 3 months.
Yeah.
So because you lose that initial, you cut out sugar, you're sleeping better and you're walking, which is 3 things I wasn't doing before. So for the first 3 months, I almost thought, my clothes are feeling a bit better. And that starts the addiction, if I dare call it that.
Yeah.
that starts the excitement of, if I work a little bit harder, what do I have to do? And that opens your mind. You start exploring, but we all want to look good. As much as that wasn't the initial reason, it was more health. But we're not going to sit here and lie about it, are we?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Between 42 and 49, as your health was evolving, and then when you made the decision that you're going to change it, how do you think were your kids around then?
Yeah, I think what started happening at the time was my thing was at the time to always take them on holiday and travel together. And I wasn't allowed in the marriage to do that with the children. So it became such a personal thing to take them away and travel with them. And I found, and I remember we were in Singapore and I couldn't keep up with them. You know, I was getting tired. And I'll never forget, Savannah said to her brother, "For God's sake, Sian, she's nearly 50, give her a break." And I thought, oh my God. You know, even for the children, they're thinking she's nearly 50. I don't like this. I felt I was losing connection with them. They were eating different foods to me. They were going to bed earlier than me. They were way more disciplined in their sleep hygiene, food hygiene, you know. And I'm thinking, I'm losing touch and changing my mindset from being a parent to a pupil. It's quite scary when you are supposed to be the person that they're looking up to. That's what motivated me, that I need to enjoy my time with my children. I never wanted to be a parent that begged to be with them. I want them to enjoy my company. And now it's great because they want to be with me.
Yeah.
Mom, what are you doing? Where are you going? What are you wearing? Like, can I borrow that, Mom?
So now you almost have to stop them and push them away.
Yeah. And it's so great. And we were getting to a point where they didn't want to be with me. You know, again, my food, I would pick up a packet of crisps and be done with it, or make a quick cheese sandwich, or in fact, never used to have breakfast or lunch, just work. In the evening, just quick eating something and then work again. And they would make scrambled eggs or, you know, I'm thinking, I need to learn from these kids.
So if it hadn't been for that wake-up call, you know, at 49, that appointment with the doctor, what was your vision of getting older?
Frightening.
You were scared
I
of
was
getting
very
older.
scared. I felt even getting divorced was, firstly, it was forbidden in my culture. But then at the age of 42, wow, I'm too old now. And then at 49, 50, I wasn't well. I honestly didn't think I'd be sitting here at 62 feeling as good as I do. I have more energy than some of the young people I know. You know, like I didn't think I'd ever say this. This sounds alien. I think initially after the doctor visit, losing a little bit of weight and having to check in with the doctor because my pressure was, I can't remember the numbers now, and I was pre-diabetic because diabetes in our culture, the South Asian culture. My father died of a heart attack. Because of the violence in the marriage, the GP surgery was very aware of the security risk that me and the children faced. So they were very on me, and I think I was very fortunate. So I think Dr. Mackin knew that I was so unwell that if I didn't take care of myself, then the children would go into care. And although I wasn't aware of his thinking at the time, later on I found out because I spoke to him. The walking, when I started shedding the weight, and then when I went back to the GP, he said I can't remember the percentages, but I'd reduced my chances of being a diabetic by X percentage. I can't remember what it was, Hama. And my blood pressure was like coming down to normal. And of course, the weight loss.
Yeah.
So that was such a kick up the backside that, wow. And he was shocked that this was happening.
It's interesting though how, you told the doctor, give me 6 months, I'm gonna go out, do my thing, and I'll come back and see you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would think if you want to get back to fitness, you have to sign up to a gym, you have to go on run, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. You just thought, I'm gonna go out and walk.
Yeah.
Walking is accessible to everyone. A lot of people wouldn't think about walking as a form of exercise or starting to get active.
There are so many things we can do for ourselves at home. When you're brushing your teeth, standing on one leg, or squatting, or, using things at home. It's not cheap to go to a gym, but you don't have to go to a gym. You can do it on your own. Certainly when I started, I couldn't afford going to a gym. When I did join, I joined a group-led class where I could see other people. I could learn from the coach. I think it was like £3.50 a session. The guy was called Tom, fantastic little gym in Chelmsford, in the back of the village hall or something. And the children used to come and motivate me. My first experience there was I didn't know how to use the treadmill and I fell off.
Oh no.
And the children were there and my leggings came off and
Oh, no.
and the children were mortified. Mummy. That was my first introduction to gymming.
Oh, wow. Yet it didn't discourage you. You
No.
kept showing up.
No, it wasn't going to do it. And what was really nice as well, because the children couldn't come all the time, obviously, but I'd made friends in the gym where, when you finish a session, Shyy, you coming tomorrow? Or Shyy, when you're in next? Oh, Shyy, do you fancy a coffee? I was accountable. In my marriage, I wasn't allowed to have girlfriends. So this was alien. Like, this is nice. I can see women like me. I'm able to make friends with women and I can talk to women. And we can compare and learn from each other. And look, I have no formal education. I'm not here to sell you anything, or even in my social media, I'm not there to sell anything to anybody. Let's just be there for each other and support each other. We need each other. I need you as much as you need me. I need your motivation. Let's just do it together. And that was the fantastic thing about the coach-led classes. We became accountable and we became friends. But what's really interesting about exercise is that you will get there once you start. Yes, the initial couple of years are hard. It might take you longer, might take you shorter. But once you start feeling good and sleeping good and eating good, you just want to do it. And that's the nicest addiction you can have.
What do you think helps you keep your momentum the most? Would it be the accountability you get from the coach and your girlfriends? Or is it the credit? What do you think is the most helpful to you?
If I was going to talk about what's helpful to me, I think it's some days, like, people think I work out every day. I don't. Because I go to the gym every day doesn't mean I always work out. For me, consistency is queen.
Oh, consistency is queen. I like that a lot.
I certainly am a creature of routine. I get up at 5, I pray, do my thing, get my meals ready, and then I go to the gym. It's keeping that habit. Some days, like the other day, I had a session with the coach. I was on my own in the class. I said, Jamal, I just want to do a stretch today. Boy, did he make me work, but it was good. And then the days I know I need to push myself because I haven't, you know yourself. But being around everybody else and think, I can do that. I can learn that. Or let me try, the curiosity, and you just start learning and doing. But it's the consistency that I derive the result, not the credits. Of course, it's lovely when you're running to hear well done, keep, like last night was pouring down, and there was only I was the only girl and the 4 boys. Well done, Shyy, well done for turning up. Of course it motivates you, but the fact that I'm consistent with it is what I rely on, and I get the benefit of.
It's a reel that you posted a few days ago, and it's about when you're feeling stuck. Don't know if that rings a bell to you. When you're feeling stuck, you have to do what's necessary, and then you qualify to do what's possible.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Then you achieve the impossible,
Yeah.
and then you
you're
become unstoppable.
Yes.
How did you know, once you started doing what's necessary in your diet, starting moving, how did you know that you qualified to do what is possible? And how did you know what was possible? Doesn't sound like it had been shown to you when you were growing up and when you were younger.
I think it's curiosity. I think it's wanting better for myself. And you're the sum total of the 5 people you spend your time with.
Okay.
And I always said that to the children as well. And I thought when I was running my business, I had a shop. I used to be a fair trade person, and, like ginger and stuff, great fair trade, handmade products. So I used to put myself with artists to learn how they used to carve and stuff. And then when I got into exercise, made friends with people that went to the gym and learning from them and thinking, oh, okay, I can do that. Oh, this is possible for me. For me to do you know what a kick up is?
Kick up.
Do you want me to show you? I can do it now.
Yeah, sure.
You need a plain wall. It's basically a handstand.
Oh, yes, yeah. I mean, you're more than welcome. This is a wall. It's a wall behind
I'll
it.
do it if you want.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
For me to do it, like...
For anyone that's listening...
Possible. Like, I just couldn't think this was possible for me.
Just do it down the middle. So for anyone listening that's not been watching this, she just stood up and she's going up to a wall.
Come on, Shyy.
And now she's just done a kick up.
Sorry, that took me 3 attempts. But that's embarrassing. I should have got that the first time.
No,
I don't think I could
it's
do it
not.
first time.
It's not embarrassing.
I have to do it once for the first time.
Yeah.
That's going to annoy me. Or maybe even the second time, Shyy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Got it.
This is great. This is amazing.
Come on.
I assume you're next. Scared now.
Yes.
Wait.
Okay, see, I wasn't the only one.
Yes, I got it second time.
Yes.
There you go, Hama. Now do a push-up.
I can do a half push-up.
Because that was good. That was very good. I enjoyed that. Get the blood flowing.
I think that was the thing, watching other people do that and being much bigger. And I don't know whether it was also the rebellion. When I was younger, I wasn't allowed to wear PE shorts in case a boy looked at me and I got pregnant. So doing that, my knickers would show. So I don't know whether it was this connection in my brain that, oh my God, imagine if my brother saw that, they would hate me, but now I need to do this. I don't know whether it was all that going on or I need to learn this. Took me months and months, but I did it. And now I want to do what he just did, walk on my hands. And every day I try in my flat. Some of the stuff I do on my own, like...
Breaking those cliches that you had, that you're not allowed to do that. Did that bring more confidence, or was confidence the thing that you needed to have in order to do those?
Brought more confidence. You just feel better in yourself. You're talking to people. Connecting with people is lovely. You meet people like yourself. You're not the only one going through the internal battles. Everybody goes through some form. okay, I'm not the only one. And there's comfort in sharing.
So talking about sharing there, you are on social media, and when did that adventure start for you? The social media arc.
You do realise I was absolutely useless, and I still am with technology, as you know. That's how we met. I asked you to take some filming
Yeah,
for me.
I'm glad you did actually, because we wouldn't have chatted otherwise.
I know. It was again on one of our holidays with the children. My daughter, she is a sponsored athlete. And she said to me, Mum, you have such an amazing story to tell. You should start your own page. I went, will you teach me? She went, nope. I'm not going to teach you how to use the phone. And that's how it started. She said, Mum, you just learn. Told me a few things, gave me a few guidelines, but it took a while, and I'm still learning as time has progressed, and the communication, the interactions with my viewers, that I have something to share. And that doesn't matter how good the filming is, or I use the back camera or the front camera. Sometimes I don't even know where to place myself in the frame. But if the message is good, then people are going to watch it. When I see people doing fancy transitions and popping captions, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is just I've just learned the fonts from CapCut, and then getting my head around CapCut, and then all of a sudden there's edits, and like, I can't learn all this, but it's okay. It's a message that I'm giving that's important, and if people like what I'm saying, then again it goes back to learning technology, moving to London. I would have never moved to London in a million years. The children moved. They'd moved to London from Chelmsford. I was missing them dreadfully. My son moved in August, and I spent September, October, November. We went away in those 3 months for his birthday. The end of third month, I just said, shit, I miss them too much. I moved to London in November to be with them. If I hadn't learned technology, I don't think I would have been able to do it. It opened my world. It allowed me to view flats with Google Maps. Yeah, I got locations wrong, and I got lost and ended up 3 hours away and whatever. But booking classes, booking any, just doing, it's opened my world. So it was learning again. And I'm closer to the children. So that's, I think, finding the why. What was my why for changing my life? My why was the children. What was my why to move to London? The children. What was my why to learn the technology? I don't want to be pestering them all the time. Like, I remember days I'd say, Savannah, can you order this from Amazon? Savannah, can you order that from Amazon? And then Mummy doesn't like it. Savannah, can you send it back? And I was taking their time up. It's not fair on them. So me learning something. Now I'm doing it for myself. Actually, spending way too much money than I should.
That's the trap.
I know. But I think it's finding your why. Why do you want to do something? As long as it makes sense, then.
I guess your way gets you started, but do you need to find one, or can your way change? Can your way
100%.
evolve?
You can change who you're becoming every day. And that's the joy of life, I think. That's the joy of the beauty of it. But why should we be defined to one? I was brought up in a culture where I should be barefoot, pregnant behind the sink, and serving men, and, why? I haven't done anything wrong. That the messages I get from women of my culture, and dare I say many other cultures, that they're still struggling, and I'm baffled in this day and age that I haven't done anything wrong, Hama.
No.
But in my society, I have. Because I left home, I smoked, I wear shorts in the gym, I brought shame. But what's interesting is the younger generation I'm closer to them now because they rely on me for guidance, because they've seen what a wholesome life I've lived and how wholesome my children are. That there's proof. I haven't done anything wrong. In fact, I lived a fairly boring, disciplined life, you know? But just because I didn't agree with some of the cultural beliefs or societal expectations. And I take great compliment that the younger generation, my nieces and nephews, talk to me. One of my nieces, my brother's daughter, my brother said to me, would you please speak to so-and-so because I know she's starting to smoke. Unfortunately, my brother's passed away now, but...
Sorry for your loss.
When I spoke to her, she thought it was super cool Auntie Shyy was talking to me. Because Auntie Shyy, because she was younger, I was much, and the fact that I was able to influence this young life not to smoke is amazing. The fact that the rest thought, well, I was a bad girl for smoking, it's fine, I've paid a price, but at least I've given something back.
And that is really important. It's when you describe your childhood and when you were in your 40s, it didn't sound like you had someone to look up to, like a role model. Yet you still had the courage to say, this is not what I want. I want something different and I'm going to go and chase it. And you still had the courage to open up and go and do that.
Even in social media, I think that was, as Savannah said, we started exploring. I still haven't seen a woman on social media like me that represents what I talk about and, being a mum and all the subjects that there wasn't I didn't see anybody that I could identify with, that it was okay. You are the sum total of your experiences and it's okay to make a mistake because, like I said yesterday, I think in one of this morning, learn from it, don't do it again, and move on. What else can you do? How long can you beat yourself up, for something you've done? But there wasn't anybody, even growing up, my mother, from exercise to menopause to boyfriends to all the societal things that a young woman goes through. And then I moved to England and had nobody again that I could look up to. And then going through the violence, I had nobody to talk to. And then bringing up the children, exercise. I didn't see a role model. All the subjects were so hush-hush. Even menopause was so hush-hush. My mother never spoke about it. It wasn't the subject that ever came up. Even periods. We were just given pads and said, well, I think it was like, Mum, I've had a car crash in my knickers, but,
Yeah.
It's difficult when you haven't had that role model, but to just in your mind. And that's why I'm so at peace with myself that I was just curious. I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, I kissed Alan behind the bike shed, but hey.
I love how you are yourself in your social media and you talk openly about some difficult subjects or people or subjects that some people might find very hush-hush and taboo.
I mean, I did things. I met my ex-husband. Met him through my brother. Even today, this is wrong, right? Then you can imagine how bad it was. I'm at my brother's house. He comes. I absolutely thought, wow, I just want to take you to bed. And I did. The first night.
Oh, wow.
Ended up him proposing. Must have been good, right?
Yeah.
And obviously as life went on, my daughters asked me this question and I've said the same thing. Life is a 10-year hormonal cycle. When you 10 to 16, you're hot, torrid, mysterious, and then 16 to 26 to, the childbearing, like Africa. And as you get older, it's a 10-year cycle and it's all down to hormones. And if you don't have that animalistic attraction when you start off, my ex-husband was very good looking. But unfortunately, it didn't last. It wasn't meant to last. And for whatever reasons it was. But the attraction was there for both of us.
Yeah.
And I'm not embarrassed to say that I slept with him. It's natural and it happens. And again, sex was another thing, such a taboo subject in my family. It was only for his pleasure and for procreation, which then led to issues for me sexually. What I've learned through life as well, that, and this is something I, again, struggling to talk about on social media, Savannah is very encouraging of this, is that having orgasms helps your menopausal symptoms
Okay.
because it releases estrogen. When Savannah bought me my first vibrator, I was disgusted. And it was like, oh my God, darling. But she's the best gift she could have ever given me. And sex toys yet are such a taboo. But it's okay for a man. Although men don't talk about it. But do you know what I mean? It's almost... Sex for a woman was and is a very hush-hush. Maybe now in your younger culture it's okay, but certainly not in my age group. And HRT being such a big, hot subject, the release of estrogen improves your sleep, improves your energy levels, your metabolic rate. I mean, the benefits are amazing. But yet this is such a taboo subject.
Especially in the older generation.
But did you know about it?
No, I didn't.
Through having sex through menopause, and not all of us are fortunate enough to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
But you can get AIDS, and it's the AIDS and talking about not AIDS as in the disease, AIDS in toys. To help.
Please don't get AIDS.
No.
The disease.
Yeah.
But
So I have to be careful there. But
No,
do you know what
it's
I mean?
fine. Yeah.
To talk about the benefits of the release of the hormones for the woman and how much it honestly enhances your life in a way that there's not enough spoken about it. How many women struggle with lack of sleep and the gazillion symptoms of menopause? It's every day you must see it, right? But there's nobody talking about the simple thing that, guys, a woman needs a time to herself. Have you explained to her the benefits? I only learned through my daughter being a pupil to the children again, And she said to me, Mum, it's supernatural. It's absolutely fine. And how embarrassing was it for me then? But now I talk about it and I feel that other women should know. I was fortunate enough to have a daughter to tell me. And I think the world should... Life is a batch of hormones and we just need to deal with the best tools we have available to us.
And like you said earlier as well, it's important not only for women to know about this, but also for men because it will impact them. And also by them knowing it, then they can contribute better as well. Can't they?
But, I don't know if you've heard this. You must have heard this. Like, sex was just for the men. I, even in my marriage later on, my husband completely changed when we got married, ex-husband. If I initiated sex, I would get into trouble because a woman wasn't supposed to do that. It was wrong. It was just to have babies. My sisters, that's what they believe and believed. The mindset is so different, but yet the benefits are only supposed to be for the men because men are the superior sex, and it still carries on. I think it's important to put it out there. If it's spoken in a way that it benefits the men as well, then I think the world would take it more seriously. At the moment, it's not like the way you're saying it. It's actually useful for my son to learn about menopause. It's useful for you to learn.
And it's good to hear it as well from someone like you. I could listen to a doctor or, a podcast where it would be man expert about this and that. It doesn't resonate the same way because from you, for example, it's from a life story, a dialogue you would have with a mom that you listen to. And it's a different point of view. It makes you relate to it more as well.
I'm not confident enough yet. Eventually, I hope I get the courage because it's so important. It's helped my exercise and other things for me. that I get the strength to talk about it because it's important.
Yeah, I'm glad you learn, and I'm glad you're sharing it now on social media, because you're quite open about it on your page. And when we met, I can't remember how many followers you had, but I guess it was pretty much near the start of your journey. And
I
now
know.
you're over, what is it, 20 to something thousand followers?
I remember when we met because I wanted some photographs done, and I remember talking to you about. I think I had like 6,000-7,000, about that. I think I'm 20 something.
Yeah,
I'm amazed.
that's a huge growth. So it shows you there are people that identify with what you're saying, or that are finding value in what you're saying. Do you feel the weight of that? Do you feel any responsibility?
Of course, I just want to. I'm very passionate about encouraging people, men included, that activity is really good for your mental health, and there comes a responsibility with it. Absolutely.
And you talk about men as well, because I'm not a middle-aged woman. I don't know what, periods, menopause, that's not things that I think about in my everyday. Yet I still find value in what you're saying and the life lessons.
I remember when I started experiencing symptoms, my son, Sian, he would sit there and be like, Mom, no, I don't want to hear this. But I said to him, darling, it affects you because my mood, my health has a direct impact on you. One day you're going to have a wife. Please God, you'll have a daughter. You will face this. And he became more interested and he would talk to me, which in turn has made him a very empathetic, sensitive soul. So I think it's important for men as well.
Oh, yeah. I like how when you share it, you have that sentence, in case your ma didn't tell you. That's such a great sentence, because you're positioning yourself, I guess, as that voice of reason, or the ma to someone that, have never heard that message before. And I guess that suggests a missing dialogue between one generation to another one. How can someone thrive if they haven't had that dialogue?
It's very difficult, but I certainly didn't have a mother. And I don't think it was her fault, and I've forgiven her for whatever. She had 13 children. I'm one of 13. I came over here for education, so then ended up living with my brother and his wife. So I didn't have a mother. My sister-in-law wasn't a mother. She had her own family to look after and nurture and love, which was absolutely fine. And Mum was never very I love you or a cuddle or type of person. My mum wasn't. My family wasn't like that. And I've now created a family where we're very, oh my God, I love you, Savannah, I love you, Sian. We're very much like that.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very grateful. But it is a journey that requires a lot of soul searching and self-love. And that comes over time. It doesn't come all of a sudden,
Yeah. And how did you come up with that?
I think 61 at the time, and realizing that people see me as a mum. And I love children everywhere I go, and I was just a mum. And I remember when I joined the new gym, somebody said something, and somebody said, "Oh, she's just a mum."
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, I'm just a mum. That's what I am.
Yeah, just stylish, sassy. I will say sassy.
We wear so many hats, mums,
Yeah. You talked about in one of your reels, because you were excited about going on a date.
Oh my God, yes. What a journey that's been. I've given up on that.
Oh, you've given up on dating?
On dating.
Okay.
What a minefield. Learning to sign up. Thanks, Savannah. Mum, you need to meet somebody. Mum, okay, fine, let's give it a go. Some of the things, there is a particular incident that I have really struggled to talk about online. I met this lovely guy for coffee. really nice. And we had this coffee and then got on. We had a second date. And then he told me his sexual preferences, which is, I am not homophobic, it doesn't matter to me. But I think for me to be in a relationship, I need to feel secure.
Mm.
And he told me he was bi. So I ended up saying to him, Nick, what the fuck? I'm already insecure about 50% of the population. Now I need to be insecure about the 100% of the population. Like, what? I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
We've become friends. We've seen each other, but I can't be going there.
Mm.
I just can't be dealing with that. It's not for me, So, and then you get the competitive men who, I can run a marathon in 2.5 hours. Well, when the fuck did you do that? When I was 25. Well, how old are you now? You're 55. So they have this. I'm not doing this for competition. I'm very peace with myself. And so the dating world is very like, do you know what?
Yeah.
If it happens, fantastic. If it doesn't, I don't spend my time. No, I'm very comfortable, happy, and I have a full life.
Mm-hmm.
But if it happened, great. If it doesn't, don't you think it's so important that your basic qualities are aligned, your food, your music,
Yes.
How you work out, how you live, just the basic discipline. I can't understand when people go into relationships thinking, I'll change him or I'll change her. I can't understand that.
Because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
And if you start off thinking that, it's not going to last.
That's very true. Because, even if you don't want to look at it now, it's going to come up further down the line, for sure.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Food, music, you're healthy or whatever habits you have,
Yeah.
if they're not aligned.
Because it's small things like working out, for example, and the discipline. When you go on holiday, for example, some people like spending time on the beach. And that's all they want to do.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, get me to a holiday club, laying down on the beach, getting a tan. I'll do that for a day or two.
I mean, it's nice to slob around, but a couple of hours and I'm
I
done.
want to go and explore.
Yeah.
I want to go and climb the mountain, hire a bike, go swim.
See, I've always been one of those people, like, always curious. When growing up, we weren't allowed to eat meat, being a Hindu. And I kind of abided by that until I came to England, until I was 13. And I thought, I need to find out more about this. And before my mum left, I said to her, why? Can you explain it to me? Honestly, Hama, we had the biggest argument ever because I tried a hamburger and loved it.
Okay.
And as an Asian Hindu, I'm not supposed to eat beef, leave alone meat. And to me, it makes sense, whether it's proven or not, but I presented my argument to my mum. And as I grew older, I kind of kept my meat eating a secret until I believe my argument makes sense to me. And that's all that matters. And my argument to my mum was, it was done because, have you looked at the Indian army? It's shit. They're skinny men. I mean, and then you look at the Sikh army, strong, burly men, right? They're allowed to eat meat. Their women are allowed to eat meat. But the Hindu Asian women were not allowed to eat meat because of the economy, the money.
Oh, yeah.
So let's keep them strong because they're protecting us, but the Hindus are not.
Yeah.
I thought, sod that, I can afford it, so I'm going to buy it. But my mum, of course, wasn't buying any of it. But to me, it made sense. And then getting married, of course, I married a Sikh guy. They eat meat. But I couldn't understand or be with a guy that, I don't eat garlic. Then I have to kiss him or vice versa. I'm like, why would you be with somebody that doesn't eat the same food,
Yeah.
I can't understand how people get into relationships.
Yeah, you have to be aligned. Such a minefield now. You talked about women want to be seen, and it's a nice feeling for anyone, actually. As a human, we want to be seen. what advice would you give to a young man about how can a young man treat a woman and make her feel seen?
I have brought up my son, and that's the only way I can talk about it. And you've got to remember that I've come from a very different upbringing where the woman was subservient, and having lived through that life, and it didn't work. So I've brought up my son in a way that I think is fantastic, that he's going to be somebody's boyfriend one day. He's going to be somebody's father, somebody's husband. That everything is equal. Everything is a compromise. You know, no one person's right or wrong, or you sit down and you resolve it. As long as you communicate, you can overcome things. I really struggled when I was getting divorced, when people told me, oh, yeah, I'm going through divorce. And it was very nonchalant. Why are you going through divorce, John, Sue, whoever? I fell out of love. And I found that a very painful pill to swallow because mine, unfortunately, was violence. I hung in there because of love. And if the violence was, I can honestly say he's the only man I've loved, I would still be there. But I had to be an example to my children that violence is unacceptable. And for myself to save my life. But that aside, you know, love is not what you... I can tell you I love you, Hama. Doesn't mean anything. It's in the daily small acts that you do, making your bed, or you making her bed, or bringing her favourite drink for her. It's the little efforts you make, the reinforcements. Oh, she thought about me. Oh, he thought about me. So love is just not, I love you and you move on. It's the little gestures that really go towards, you know, it's the things you do for each other. And the man to be seen and valued, and for the mother, for the wife rather, the girlfriend to be valued and seen and nurtured. So both sides. But to teach my son how to cook, to clean, to shop, the nice things, watching just the quiet moments. It's in the quietness that the love grows, not in the grand gestures.
Yeah.
It's not I love you and the flowers and the grand gestures, and you can do that once in a while. But you coming home and, oh, it's all right, you sit down, I'll do dinner today, or I'll take the dog for a walk, or whatever it is. It's the little things to make each other's life comfortable and to look out for each other. The grand gestures are so transient, and like I say, you buy somebody a nice present as a nice surprise. He or she won't probably use it. I'll save that for special occasion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It so often happens. But if you buy that person a nice, I don't know, book that sits on the coffee table, or something, a diary, or something that they can use on a date, oh, it's only £3, doesn't matter. I'll put it there and think, oh, Savannah bought me that. Oh, Savannah bought me that. You know, just those little things. They bought me this little box that they went away for a day somewhere. And I think it still had a price on it, 99p, and I cherish it. Because she came home holding it like this, and they were fighting about who was going to give it to me, you know. And the way it was presented to me has bigger memories than the grand gift, but it's still there, and I still have it.
Yeah.
It's got their baby teeth in it. Again, it's alien to me because I was brought up just to serve. So as a woman, I felt very stifled and unfulfilled. As I grew into myself, I mattered. I'm enough. And I think I've shown my followers this.
Oh, for those listening, she's got a tattoo and it says, I am enough.
I'm enough. And this is I'm relentless. It's all about learning. Just learning. Just anything new.
Don't be afraid to go out there. And your struggles today aren't the same as the one you had before, obviously. Do you think you have less struggles today, or is it just that you struggle better?
I actually made notes about this because, if I may,
Oh, yeah, sure.
earlier challenges were about external pressure. You know, how you looked, relationships, work, family. Now it's about, as I'm getting older, and the challenges that come as you get older.
How do you get rid of that then? Because there's a lot of people that even when you are slightly older, they would still feel that external pressure from society or other people about what they should be wearing, what they should be. How can one get rid of those and start focusing a bit more on themselves and what they want?
It's feeling comfortable in your skin. Yes, it's fantastic to look good, but as long as you're clean and you're well presented, honestly, people don't care. I think it's more within you and how you value yourself. You know, only I know how tall I am in my heart. Only you know how tall you are in your heart. We think other people worry about what we wear. As long as you're clean, well presented, polite, spoken, you know, I don't think we should be worrying. People love you the way you are, to be yourself. Sometimes, when you wear an expensive thing or buy an expensive thing, keep it for best, or I won't wear it. And before you know it, you forget about it and you don't even wear it. So, it's such a contradiction in itself. But generally, I don't think people really care your external.
Or at least they don't care as much as you think
As
they
much
do.
as you think it does. It truly doesn't. But when you're younger,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I was like that, and
You know that reel we were talking about at the start about feeling stuck at the beginning and then qualifying for what's possible, achieving what's impossible, and then becoming unstoppable. What does unstoppable look like for you today in your everyday?
I just really want to age healthy and be as mobile for as long as possible. The inevitable is going to come for everybody, but the unstoppable is just to take care of myself, my health, my mind, my spirit, as best as I can, independently for as long as I can.
Any piece of advice for someone that's...
Start stuck, but start to prioritize yourself. Start stuck, but you must start. So nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. You have to take care of you.
As a closing tradition, the question is...
God, am I going to dread this?
Not at all. It's a very easy one. When you sit down and you find yourself daydreaming, what does your mind drift towards?
Food. Always food. What's next? That's why I told you earlier, Hama, wake up, pray, do all that, and then plan the food. I get super insecure about food. That's what I think about.
That's good. What do you pray for? What do you pray about?
Everybody. Peace. Peace. Just for myself, for the world, for the children, of the world, not just mine. Yeah.
Peace.
Just peace. And just to be at peace with yourself. And it's something you can learn. You have to teach yourself that. Because our minds are so anxious and we think about so many things at once. We're human beings, right? I need to do this, I need to do that. I remember when I had my first car crash, an insurance guy said to me, that's the problem with women. When they're driving, they're not driving. They're thinking about, what am I cooking for dinner? What's on the shopping list? Have I ironed my husband's shirt? And that's so true. It's just life. That no matter what we're doing, but yet exercise is one thing that you're so concentrating on when's this shitty pain gonna end. That's all. Even when you're running, right, Hama?
Yeah, always.
That's what you're thinking. Why am I doing this? When's it gonna end? Why am I doing this? That's all you think. So everything else pales into insignificance.
Yeah.
And it gives, when you finish, people talk about that high. That's the high, isn't it? You feel so proud of yourself and the natural endorphins and the serotonin that you just enjoy that. But generally, I think majority of us, we're always worrying about something. And to quieten that mind, prayers is, for me, it works.
Being grounded and just having that time with yourself. Whatever your religion is or whatever you pray to, it doesn't matter.
To me, there's only one God. It's just different names.
Yeah.
Everybody just says it. Like this morning, I was anxious about coming. It's my first podcast, and spoke to the children, prayed, and when I finished my prayer, I thought, he's only my son. He's like my kid. But you are,
Yeah.
It just put me at ease. I felt better. Didn't get lost on the train. So it's just calming your mind.
Thank you so much, Shyy.
It's a pleasure.
A real pleasure. Genuinely, thank you for opening up and for sharing all these stories and advice and wisdom.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me.
Absolute pleasure. We hope everyone that tuned in enjoyed it, that you took some value from this discussion. And if you've got any feedback, any question, please let us know in the comment. If you want to find Shyy on Instagram, how do people find you? Sorry.
Shyy Sachdev, SHYY, 2 Ys.
2 Ys. From us for now, it's goodbye.